are going live. How exciting. This is a group call today with some very lovely ladies. So this is Ann Sieg, founder of E-commerce Business School, coming at you through the Voice of E-commerce. And the Voice of E-commerce is the broadcasting arm of the E-commerce Business School. And our goal here is to display to the public that we're real people. We're real people. And our goal here is to help take your business to the next level with this edition of the Voice of E-commerce. So welcome, Debbie, and welcome, Karen. It's so great to have the two of you here.
Thank you.
All right. Well, the purpose of this interview is to celebrate your Q4 success. And I know for a lot of members, and maybe as you share your stories, you start off with some intrepidation. Is this really gonna work? I mean, Ann's talking about success stories. They might even be made up, fake, but could they even be real? And could it even happen for me? Did either one of you, before you answer that, just quickly, an introduction for yourselves too. Debbie, where are you located?
I'm in the very southern tip of Ohio. It's a little community called Athalia.
Athalia, what a pretty name.
Right across the river from Huntington, West Virginia.
Oh, awesome. Karen, you are in hot Florida somewhere?
I am. I'm a new Floridian. I'm down from Iowa. So I do live I live in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Yeah.
Wow. We have a staff member who is moving from Rockford, Illinois down to Florida. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool. All right. So back to the question I was asking. So both of you at some point in time were exposed to this offer. Specifically, we're talking Shop Your Way to Wealth. It's our foundational training course. We call it a cash flow course. Yeah. Does that hold true? Is it a cash flow course? Have you seen that?
Absolutely.
It brings cash into your house. All right. So I would like we'll start with Deborah. Do you want Debbie or Deborah? Which do you prefer?
I usually go by Debbie.
Debbie. Okay. So Debbie, I think you saw my ad, but I don't know. What's the backstory? And what were your thoughts when you first were exposed to joining me through Shop Your Way to Wealth?
Well, I did see your ad on Facebook, and I have sold online before, mainly through eBay, but that was years ago. I've always done small businesses, even though I've worked full-time at another employer. Worked in the oil industry at an oil refinery, and but I've always had side businesses, and because I love being an entrepreneur. So when I saw your ad, I had actually been thinking about looking at selling on Amazon, but I didn't know where to start.
No.
So, and I was a little wary because you know, I've done things before that didn't work out. But I will say that I don't know, there was just something about you that really impressed me just from what you were sharing. And I thought, okay, I'm going to start out slow, give it a little try, see if I think this is real, see if I can do it. And I ended up signing up, and something messed up online, and I ended up paying for the course like 3 or 4 times. And what impressed me was that in your office, Sharon, she called me immediately when she found that. And I was like, oh my gosh, what business does that? They don't give you a call. They just let you hang loose, you know, like, and pay for it 4 or 5 times. And so that impressed me very much whenever she gave me a call, and we hit it off immediately. She's a sweetheart.
Yes.
And so that got me started, and that was back in at the end of March.
Okay.
And we were in the process of going on vacation, so I didn't get started with it. And then I did once we got back. I came and decided to go to the 5-day classes. And boy, that was really amazing. And wore my brain out too. I had to process it. But that's kind of where I got started with it, and didn't really get going in it until June, because my daughter is special needs, and she also has another illness. And because of that, this year alone, she's been hospitalized 5 times.
Oh my.
Yeah. So for me, I had to kind of get started slowly. And didn't really get selling until June. But
Okay.
in July, I came to the trifecta, and then in August, I came to the 2-day
E-commerce funnel mastery.
the funnel
Yeah.
mastery.
Mhm.
I just felt like I needed to, once I got started in it and I saw you guys were real and that you really cared about us,
Mhm.
I thought, okay, I'm all in and I want to do everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, so got started with that finally in June. So really, sales didn't start till sometime in June.
And I understand that. We hear that frequently because it catches people in the moment. Yep, I want that. They buy it and it sits on the shelf relative to when the timing comes together. That's
Mhm.
not unusual. I totally understand that. And we do care. I can guarantee you, I was behind that. Hey, someone needs to call this lady right away. It was a software glitch, is what it was. I know
Yeah,
exactly what happened. And I treat people the way they would want, the way I would like to be treated, and not being left hung to dry, wondering for lack of communication. So thank you. We're going to loop back with your results. So Karen, you had an interesting introduction. I don't think it was my ad. It was a member of our community. So why don't you share your story?
It was. I have a very good friend. Her name is Martha Fitzenmeyer. Probably rings a bell to anybody who was in
oh
your
yeah,
school.
Pretty much.
Um, she is just a firecracker. I've known her for about 7 years now. I've worked with her, and then I followed her to another job where she was the manager of a yacht club. And we've just become very good friends. And she had given me a call, and I've been struggling down here in Florida, trying to find something that I could do physically.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I've got to tell you about this. And she just wouldn't stop talking. She's like, I'm going to send you this. She goes down and I am probably the worst person with any kind of technology. I'm like, oh, Lord, I've got to do what? But I watched your introduction to Shop Your Way to Wealth. And she called me back. She goes, did you watch it? And I'm like, yep. And she goes, what do you think? And I'm like, well, if I do this, I need to fly home, see it with you, and see how
Uh-huh.
you do it, and just implement everything you're doing into my
Mm.
side of it. And I did. I flew back to Iowa. I sat with her 4 days.
Wow.
Um, sh she's amazing.
Yeah.
I was just whipped. When I left there, I was like, what did I just do? So I got home and started scanning. And again, I bought it June 21st into the program. And I did not start until I went and seen Martha in August. And then I came home and then I started out scanning and
Okay.
scanning and scanning and still scanning. So yeah, that's kind of the beginning of it. And, she would give me the guidance and the mentoring that I needed. And she's just a blessing and fun to watch. And even more so, she's one of the best friends I've ever met in my entire
Oh,
life. So
well,
yeah,
that's a
I love
good
her.
friend that
Oh,
would
she's
do that.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're referring to Martha, who's had superstar status, who just
Lord.
hit well, she's over 200 grand in 10 months. And I do have to just speak to this, and then I'm going to show you two ladies have done screenshots that you submitted of your results. I'm going to share those, but um, we get people who say, "Oh, this method doesn't work," and that I just, well, not quite so. It does work. It's a matter of a person doing the work, because I think both of you would agree this does take work, correct?
A lot of work.
It takes a
It's a
lot of
lot
work,
of work.
but you do make money. Yeah. Oops, you're muted. Sorry, Debbie. Go ahead and unmute. There you go.
Yes, it's not a get rich quick thing. It's you have to work it.
You have to work it.
Yes.
So let's share. I'm going to have Debbie now look back to you, and let me share my screenshot. So what happens, for those of you who don't know, we have a community page, and ladies, right? Every day you come in, just right before this call. Oh, here's another winner. I think hers was 10.2K or something. Okay, I got to go in and give it another congratulations. It's almost getting tiresome. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding, but it's like, it's nonstop. People writing their success stories. So that's the purpose, is let's brag on the success and celebrate together. So this was yours, Deborah, that she posted on the 17th. And darn it all, that goal just keeps, you have to keep resetting it higher.
I actually reset my goal for 10,000 for March, and then I kept going up. I'm now up to 9,500.
So
So
you
I'm
just
like, yeah.
it's awesome. So you have to keep adjusting your goal instead of lowering your expectations. You're like, well, alrighty then, I guess it's going to be more. So there are people who are watching who are twofold. One, not even in the program called Shop Your Way to Wealth, or they're in the community and they haven't reached success. We know there's that combination because we see that in the group page. And yet we know success can be had. I'd like for you two to share both from, well, we know it works, and you both said you have to do the work, but any kind of success tips along the way would be great. So I'll start with you, Debbie. Your sales here, you've got the 9,000 in 30 days. It's fantastic. How exciting. You
Yes,
get
it
to
is
think about
exciting.
money. What do I do with the money now, right?
Gosh.
So yeah, why don't you share a little bit about how you started reaching success and why you just get out there and kept scanning, because you got to do that, right?
Right, because I know a lot of them have gotten disappointed because they've scanned and not found anything they could purchase. And I still can't purchase most toys. So I quit focusing on toys.
Right.
I just started focusing on other things. And at first, I wasn't focusing on like things like clothing because I know a lot of times there's a lot of returns. But I will tell you, I ended up starting to have more success with clothing.
Mm.
So I've started doing more clothing than I have even other things
Oh,
because it's like a repeat buy. Not that the same person keeps buying them, but it's a type of clothing that people, need and they like. And so I thought, oh, well, it's extra work because I do have to polybag everything,
mm.
but it actually has been good for me for clothing. I do still do other things. I do sports things because I played sports. I played softball and volleyball. So I do things like that. And a lot of times, I think I started with the things that I enjoy
Mm.
and then things that affected my daughter. So I looked at those kind of items, but I didn't get tunnel vision. I tried to just keep looking in other areas. And then all of a sudden you see things and you're like, wow, okay. And
Mhm.
so I just kept scanning. And that really is the big thing. Just keep scanning. Don't get discouraged because eventually you're going to start finding the things that you can sell. And sometimes I also found that even though it's harder, I found some more expensive items like quality purses and
Mm.
things like that actually sold fairly well. So
Wow.
sometimes I'll buy something that's a little more expensive, but
Mhm.
I bought a purse for $50 and I sold it for $300.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. So, I don't buy a whole lot of those purses, but I have, bought quite a few things like that I was a little scared of at first, but I checked all the, what it,
The
I
range and
thought,
everything. Mhm.
yeah. And so I thought, okay, I think this will work. So I just keep trying to branch out and look at different items and don't get stuck on one thing.
Yeah.
Because I found some things I thought I would sell, but they didn't sell very well. And so I thought,
Mhm.
okay, let's come back. Let's do it again. Just keep going. And if you're able, my recommendation is just keep reinvesting your money at first. Try your best not to take money out of it if you can keep from it. And then if you do that and you can keep sending in inventory, that's when you'll be able, because you have to have enough inventory in there to be able to get to
Right.
$9,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. That's great advice. I know I've had people say, oh, I went out 2, 3 times. I couldn't find anything. This doesn't work. I said, I guarantee you I can walk into that same store and I will come out with products. I guarantee you.
Right.
So it's a matter of the mental discipline to stick
Yeah.
with it. I've never not been able to find something. I just keep scanning. That's the answer. So fantastic. Alrighty, let me share Kierans. There it is. You hit the 10K mark, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that is so awesome. There you did it. I did it 10K in 30 days. No, So you got started in what, September then, or when did you get going?
I actually went live, sold my first product October 10th, I believe is what it
Oh
was.
my. Huh.
Yeah.
That's
So
fantastic. All righty.
I'm
So
so
any
excited.
kind of tips that you can give the folks, because you did have a role model and you got that extra hand holding, which is
I,
fantastic and unusual at that level. But at
it
the
is.
same time, you had to do the work. You could have thrown in the towel. And this is what happens. People hit that, they're kind of dancing with the demons in their head right there on that fine line. And yep,
Yeah.
I think I'll give up. It's just a
Yeah.
little dance that they're doing, playing with.
Yeah.
So what kept you going?
Well, I made the decision to invest what I had, and it was make it or break it. For
Hmm.
me, it was do or die. This was my opportunity. I've got some disabilities myself. The older you get, the more things happen. I just can't go out and punch a clock anymore. I have to be able to lay down at certain times
Hmm.
of the day for a physical thing with my back.
Right.
And I'm just like, I have to make this work. I have no income. I've got this much money set aside. So it can sit there and do nothing for me, or I can make this work. And I was given two things from Martha that she stressed still to this day. If I talk to her, she said, you must scan, scan, scan. And she said, and the only thing that's going to work with that scanning is to stay in the ranking.
Hmm.
If you scan, you stay within that ranking, this will work. If you veer off any, it's not going to work. And to this day, it has held true every single cell that I have. I am the kind of person that when I get home with my bags and I have a process of checking in, I take each item, I write it down, and then I re-rank it right there at home. Did I
Oh,
stay within my ranking?
yes.
And I tally up where I'm at, the 1%, 5%, 10%.
Oh, very
And
good.
by golly, it has worked. I swear by it. That's the only
Yeah.
way that this is going to work for you. You have to stay true to the training.
Yes, to the training. So
It
what
is.
Karen is, yeah, there's a PDF in the back office with the rank card. And I've told people, if you forgot your rank card and you didn't bring it to the store, you turn around and you head back home. We've done it, husband and I. We've got
I've
two
done it.
cards. Yeah, and I'm like, we better head back home. Otherwise, you're gambling. And I'm not interested in gambling. I'm interested in investments. This is an
Absolutely.
investment program.
Yeah.
Essentially, you are investing into products as much as anyone does precious metals, real estate, you name it. You are investing in products with the looking for velocity for those products to sell fast and
Yes.
take in a profit.
Yes.
It's an investment game is what it is. So
It
how
is.
nice is that? We're not doing real estate.
No.
That's pretty risky. You got products, and out of that you get this outcome and you prove to yourself this world rocks. This is
It
it.
does. It does. I have a smile on my face every day.
Aw,
I do. And I am so blessed that I have Martha. I mean,
aw.
she's not, she introduced me to this. She's not doing the work for me, but she certainly is one of the best people I've ever met in my entire life.
Aw.
I love her.
Yeah, she's a sweet soul. We have a lot of really sweet souls in our community.
Yes.
We really
Yes.
do. Loving, caring people, as you ladies know, we there is no competition in our group. There's no one trying to, elbow someone out. There's plenty to be had in this pie that we
Yes.
don't have to fear. In fact, Danita, our head coach, she goes into the store with her mother and they both come out with full carts and there's no competition between the two of them. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just an amazing world.
Fun.
Well, yeah. So I want to say to everyone who is listening and watching, write add me in the comments section below so that you can be notified of future broadcasts of the Voice of E-commerce. Again, it's just add me. If you've done it previously, you don't have to do it again. Ladies, how happy and excited I am for you, especially coming into Christmas here and the
Yeah.
new year. What a great way to go off soaring into 2019.
Yes. Yes. I'm super excited. It just gives me chills every day.
Yeah, I'm so glad it's been a life-changing experience for you that's played out for the better and really helped create this wonderful outcome in your lives. And Karen, you're not alone. We have so many people with disabilities or
Yeah.
family members with disabilities. Debbie
Right.
has two
Yeah.
in her family, her husband and her daughter.
Yeah.
And this has been a true godsend for so many people. And
It
it's
really is.
empowering. You get to feel good about what you're doing. And these folks are not adverse to work. You're not adverse to work, Karen. It's just
No.
physical limitations that make it tough to hold down a regular job. So
Yeah.
we're really, really grateful. And thank you so much for sharing your successes. And thank you so much for being here. And I'm so happy for you for 2019.
Me too.
It's been
Thank you.
awesome, awesome year. All right.
Merry
Thank you,
Christmas.
ladies. Thank you. You too. All righty. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.